What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the host of Epic Conversations, and I'm the home of Epic Conversations. 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner and 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. You know what? I just thought about this. People don't, I like to tell people, I like to show you, I did win these awards. So that's my name on the award, by the way. So you know what? My major mentor said, don't tell people what you do, show people what you do. So there's one of my awards, family. All right. So yeah, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and the solution for someone's problem. And just a few housekeeping rules before we have this friend to the Dr. Vibe show. He's appeared on one of my other shows, but this is the first time he's on the Dr. Vibe show. So let's get it down. Please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and hit the notification button. So subscribe and hit notify. Also, notification, sorry. Then also follow the Dr. Vibe show, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And if you are ever interested in advertising your business, product, or service on this platform or any of the platforms or conversations I host, email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. One of the things I'm very passionate, because I am one, but I have to show that I'm passionate about it, is Black men and those who love them. Actually, when I first started off this journey back then, around probably 2011, my first intent on starting this online journey was to enlighten, empower, educate, and entertain Black men and those who love them. And that hasn't left me. Not yet, not ever. So that is significant with today's conversation, because we have a friend, not a new friend for me, but for you all, David Griffiths, who's the founder and chief executive officer at Brothers Who Care. He's going to share a little bit of what that organization does. And also, we got a big event coming up this weekend, November 4th. So welcome to the Dr. Vibe show, family, Mr. David Griffiths. What is going on?
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.
No problem. The
Listen,
pleasure's mine.
yeah, the last time I was on your show, I was talking about doing the hard work, and you corrected me and said, listen, it's not even about the hard work, it's about the hard work. And so that's become my mantra. I love that.
Thank you so much. Well, I make suggestions. I don't tell people what to do. I just make suggestions. Because if I tell people what to do and it's wrong, I get it. So I just make suggestions and I let them do their thing. So we're on speak on Halloween night. How was trick-or-treating with the young ones?
Hey, boy, it's cold out there.
Like I was looking at my phone on the Weather Network app and I'm seeing snow. I was actually yesterday speaking with Live, Canada's Minister of one of the portfolios she has is diversity. And she says she took a plane from Brampton to Ottawa and it was snowing in Ottawa. Yes, I said, keep it up there. Keep it up there.
Yeah, we don't want it down here, right?
No, but it's not playing,
But it's coming.
brother. It's
coming.
coming.
Yeah, we live in Canada, so we gotta take all the good and the bad with it. But I shouldn't even say good and bad,
Well, just you take it. We just take it. But what, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, David, I was in shorts.
Talk about 2.5. I mean, a week ago, there was one day last week that was nice.
Last week.
Yeah.
Like even on Saturday, it was nice. I was outside cutting down some trees and things. Next day, I go, what? My goodness.
The weather don't play. No, apologize to no one.
Not at all. No, it does not play. Well, I know we have a limited time with you today because, family time, and there's a lot of things coming up with this event on Saturday. So can you just give a little bit of background about yourself and also, a little background about the Brothers Who Care organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like to say, boy, I'm a little young boy from a little parish, little city, little town in Jamaica called Manchester, and came to Canada and really took all the values and all the things that my mom instilled with us at an early age and came to Canada and really embraced Canada as home. And, for me, it's about charting the path. And as a Black man, the reason I started Brothers Who Care was really to create a platform for Black men to embrace, to network, to share, and to really create a space where opportunities can be talked about when they're not in the room, right? And we started that back in 2019, really out of an essence to kind of say, how could we contribute by pooling resources? And in the course of a year, we raised and donated $27,000 to like 4 charities. Huge impact,
Wow.
and that's just the
Wow.
power of one. Like my $100 combined with yours, combined with another man, combined with another man, and then all of a sudden, we're pushing and making big impact.
That's fantastic. Let me ask, what was the first big win in your mind with the organization? Because that's a great thing that you achieved, but were there wins before that $27,000?
Yeah, you know what? So here's a story. I was in the hospital, just did a surgery, and my best friend came to visit me, and I'm like lying on the bed. And I had gone to a couple fundraising organization by these organization called 100 Who Care, right? So I think it was first started in Michigan, and then it kind of spread across North America. And there's in Oakville 100 Guys Who Care. And I went and I looked at the demographic and I didn't see any representation of folks that looked like me. But I love the concept. 100 people get together quarterly, they put $100, and then they aim to raise $10,000 and donate to charity. So while lying there, I said, listen, like it's like you're kind of reminiscing, right? And you're like, life is so short. I want to start something like this in the Black community. I remember this was about October, and he was like, hey, like you should focus on getting better. And I remember it was probably just before New Year's, the end of that year. And I started to create a WhatsApp group. Just everybody who I found. And I probably had about 60 guys in a WhatsApp group. And I created the group and I just called it Brothers Who Care. I think I called it Brothers in the Six Who Care. And I fell asleep because I was putting my son to bed. And the morning I woke up, someone pinged out and said, what is this, bro? Right? And then I had like about 6 inquiries because all I had to do was create the name of the group without any intent or anything. So when I woke up in the morning and I saw all those reactions, I'm like, damn, I gotta jump on it, right? So
Mhm.
that day, I just said, imagine 100 guys getting together, imagine the possibilities, imagine the impact, imagine the changes that we could have. And it just resonated because when I put that message out there, the feedback was just incredible throughout the day. Folks was like, "Oh, this is great! Like I'm down. Call me in." Right. So for me, that was a big win because you put an energy out there, and that energy was resonated. Right.
Nice. So you formed this a little bit before the pandemic.
Yeah, like I would say that the idea started maturing in 2018, and then it went full-fledged 2019.
Okay.
Mhm.
So a few things. How did and you've got a great lens, and people like yourself and myself have these sort of lenses. How did how has the pandemic, during the pandemic and post pandemic, impacted Black men through your lens, Black men that you associate with and the ones you help and assist?
So prior to the pandemic, we saw this incredible benefit of just men getting together in a physical space and bonding, right? And there was this momentum that we had post pre-pandemic. And when the pandemic hit, it was almost like, damn, like what are we gonna do, right? We, I won't even talk about what the outcome of the pandemic, but one of the things that we realized that we needed to start do was men were still like missing that aspect of just getting together. So we started doing these Saturday morning talks, right? Just a medium to vent, to voice, to talk about your opinions and thoughts. And one of the incredible things that came out of that was that we did one session that we were just talking about mental health. And the response to that was incredible. And after the session, I was getting messages from folks to say, hey, you need to have a platform where Black men just come together to talk about mental health, impact at home, families, work, the pressures of being a Black man, expectations, not living up to the expectations, and all of these, and the pressure that we put on ourselves. And eventually, what we launched out of that was something called the Mental Health Hour. And the mental health hour is incredible because it's a monthly talk series specifically reserved for Black men, mental health, and how that impacts our lives. And it's shown just incredible results, incredibly engagement. And that's so powerful. But it also gave birth to the organization as it exists today. And then I could talk more about that, but I just wanted you to kind of sit on that comment around the mental health hour first.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how much mental health has become part of the forefront of Black men's journey. And I myself experience a lot of Black men who are more open to chat about it on one of the platforms that I co-host. Well, I co-host a program called The Morning Vibe. We have an incredible Black gentleman who's a Black psychotherapist, and he's actually done talks all over North America.
Mm,
And whenever he comes on, the numbers just go crazy.
yeah.
The numbers just go crazy. People are waiting. Think about a smart Black man who has the voice of James Earl Jones. Like the first time he came on, David Archer, people went, "What?
Yeah,
What is this guy?"
what?
So that is someone, if you want someone who's at their top of their game
Yeah,
in Black male psychotherapy, and there's not that many in Canada.
yeah. What's his name again?
David Archer. If you want an
David
introduction,
Archer.
I can do that. And
Oh,
what I can do is I can send you some links to the conversations on the platform. He's at the top of his game. He's at the top of his game, big time.
that's absolute. I love that. And it's not even if I want an introduction.
Okay, it's a done deal. It's
Let's
a
make it
done deal.
happen. Let's
It's
make
a
it
done
happen.
deal. So, what have you seen with Black men post pandemic?
Yeah, so I think that the pandemic, like if you look at the way we work, it's significantly changed how we work and how we show up. And I was reading some stats the other day, which was pretty interesting, where and now I'm going to talk more about the younger Black men, right?
Sure,
Young,
sure.
um, 20% of young Black male are not in education or training, right? So when you think about that, you think about developing who you are as a person, as a citizen, and making your mark on this world. You look at, are you in the trades? Are you in some sort of training program? Are you further in your education? And 20% of our men are not even in that category. So then you ask that question like, so what are they doing?
Where are they?
Yeah, yeah. What are they doing, right? And that's compared to 12% for other races, right? So like it's really a big exposure. And then the other thing that you ask is when you ask young Black children, youth, if they want to pursue university or college education, 94% of them will tell you yes, right? The reality, though, is only 34% of Black females actually do it, and 17% of Black males. So Black males are falling behind significantly. They're not pursuing education, they're not in training, and what's happened through the pandemic, and I talk about how we work, is that technology is changing and is dominating the workforce. You talk about AI, you talk about automation, you talk about generative AI, and you look at the representation of people that look like me, the younger version of me and you. We're not in the workforce, and we're not even building ourselves to get there, right? So the pandemic, while it's really impacted us emotionally and drained our family units, the preparation for the next generation to actually step up and take our place, we are being hampered significantly. So it's like it's a double-edged sword, right? Not only are we hurt up, but when it's like you want to water the flower so that it regenerates. The youngins, they're not raising either. So like we're in a tough position.
Yeah, we'll put a plug on that right now. Hopefully you can come back because that's a much deeper. Like we just opened a cork, we're putting the cork back on because we could stay on all the rest of the night. I'll
Yeah,
just add to what you're saying there. It's not only the systemic impact, the financial impact, and the family structure impact of that. is huge.
It's huge.
It's
It's
huge.
huge.
I'm a firm believer that every success should have a successor.
Right.
I'm concerned that in our Black families, what's the successor going to be? Is there a successor, and what's the success going to look like?
Right. Right.
But that's a whole other conversation for another day. What we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick break, because when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about this big event that's coming up this Saturday, November 4th. Big event, but we're going to take a little 90-second break because David needs a break because he was trick-or-treating. He wasn't dressed up. His kids were, and he needs to just a little bit of a pause. So we'll be back in about 90 seconds. Hold tight. Keep it locked.
You know, and that's what I feel like. You feel like you're the Harriet Tubman of the mind.
I am.
I feel like I'm I'm one of the Harriet Tubmans of intelligent Black people. Like, I want to liberate y'all from like being left behind and ignored and oblivion. No, really, the rappers get all the attention. You know, seriously, does anybody else feel this way? Like ignorant Black people, they'll be all up, you know, getting all the headlines on the Shade Room.
Overly sexualized Black folks.
Over like the twerkers and the, you know, just people that, you know, don't always represent the best of us, you know, the diversity, you know, like people like Dr. Vibe. Like, everybody should know about people like Dr. Vibe. Dr.
really
Vibe
should.
he's trying to do good work for Black people. Dr. Vibe from Toronto. Good to see you, my brother. Dr. Vibe. Everybody follow Dr. Vibe. He has a great show. He's very good at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. Okay, so let me hop into this. What's up, Dr. Vibe? How you doing? Everybody, if you see Dr. Vibe in the chat, everybody go follow the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Bob is a real smart brother and a good human being. I like the guy a lot, and he's very intelligent. And I think everyone should pay attention to what he's got going on. We got to shine the spotlight on the intelligent Black people out here that are really doing the good work. Don't just pay attention to the rappers and the celebrities. You know, a lot of these people are losers. Your true winners are your people in your community that are really having your back. You know, helping us to have stronger families and a stronger community. So Dr. Bob is in that category. So you might see the Dr. Bob show in this chat. If you see him, please go follow him. Okay. All right. So anyway.
As always, big shout out to two mentors of mine, Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. You're watching the Dr. Vibe Show live on Halloween night 2023. We're blessed and highly favored to have David Griffiths, the founder and chief executive officer of Brothers Who Care. We had a highly intelligent and deep first half of the conversation. We're going to flip a little bit because there is a big event coming up this Saturday that his organization is putting on, the Care Leadership Alliance retreat, November 4th. It's a leadership retreat designed specifically for Black men. There is the link if you want to find out more about it. I'm also going to share it in the comment section on whatever platform you're watching, whether it's live or on the replay. It's going to be there. But let's find out a little bit about this event. How did it come about?
Okay, sorry. So before I talk about how it came about, I'd be remiss if I didn't just explain the platforms of Brothers Who Care. So I initially started talking about mental health. So we focus on mental health, specifically on Black men and how we experience mental health and how we interact. The second component and what gave birth out of the mental health hour is a program called I See Me, where we teach young people how to invest in the stock market. And we actually have them trade on a stock market game that is a virtual representation of the real stock market. And young people actually win money to contribute to their education savings plan. To date, over a 2-year period, we have donated $27,000 to education savings plan for young people. Just incredible. And then we run another program called Leg Up that's kind of focused on entrepreneurship and building professionalism. And we teach young people how to establish and then strive to realize big goals that they set. So we've had young people bought houses, got job promotion. That program is called Leg Up. It stands for Learn, Earn, Grow, Utilize, and the Psychology of Money. And so those three platforms tied back to this platform called I Am. And I Am is really looking at Black male and how we bond together. So it goes back to our grassroots and how we started. The concept of collective philanthropy, but it's really looking at how do we build capacity as Black men? How do we drive confidence? How do we drive togetherness? How do we drive solidarity? And so, I talked earlier about we had these quarterly sessions where we meet up and we pool our funds and raise some money. This idea of having a retreat was to take us out of our everyday lives and put us in a space where we're just surrounded by positivity and we could just build and reason and just do incredible things. So care leadership development, we have different themes, but this year we're focused on really self-development. How do you build capacity of self, right? And so it's this incredible one-day retreat. We go to Niagara and we selected the Niagara region for a specific reason because it has such a rich history of Blacks coming into Canada from the US through the Underground Railroad. And so we're going to go down to Niagara. We leave early in the morning. We're going to build great vibes on the bus. We're going to do a session on mental health. We're going to do a live stream mental health hour. Men will get an understanding to start to correlate and to build relationship with each other. We go down, we go to the Harriet Tubman Museum. We do a tour of that. We do a wine tour at a Black winery. We do wine tasting. You get to hear from these really incredible speakers that's going to build a wealth of knowledge. And we're so grateful for the partners that we have. This all was made possible by BBI, the Black Business Initiative. We have EQ Bank, we have Taibu, our mental health partner. We have the Walnut Foundation because we need to talk about prostate cancer and the impact that it has on the Black community. And then we have, we have Here to Help and our friend Simone, who brought us together and are such an integrator. We just have this really incredible group of folks that are helping to pull this together. We have the HNIC, their core group. We have our boy Rayon, who is the project manager. And so just a really great experience that's built for the Black man. And, you're going to be part of this 50 select group. So this is the first year we're doing it. So it's 50 men, incredible experience to the falls, to the region, focus on the lake. And then we're going to come back to Toronto late at night. So that's, a general overview of the retreat.
Yeah. So what is the goal of this day?
So initially when we started, brothers would get together and we would do it in 2 to 3 hours. And, men would walk away and say, man, this was incredible. And I can't wait to do it another time. But between the time that I wait and the time that the next one happens, how do we stay connected? Right. And so what we're doing for the goal of this is to really create a platform where men could have an extended time to bond with each other and to actually really share with each other over a period of time. So that's goal number one. The second goal is to look at how do we start to pool our resources and make meaningful impact. So we're going to do a session on wealth and investment. And in that session, we're going to look at what are some of the commercial and residential investment opportunities in the Niagara region. So we're partnering with the Black Chamber of Commerce for the Niagara region. We have some builders that are coming. We have commercial investment opportunities, residential real estate opportunities. So from that goal perspective is from how do I build from where I am and what are some of the opportunities that I may not be exposed to and how do you bring those opportunities together so that I could actually pursue. The other thing is that we've created a platform where when men are here and these opportunities come up, they have somewhere to go back and access this platform. And then the other piece is really to just, how do I build capacity? So when you think about our overall health, I know we like to focus on money, but we've got to kind of focus on, our mental health. We've got to focus on our physical health and kind of take proactive actions to look at things such as, prostate cancer, for example. But the more important thing is we've got to build capacity in a support network so that I know that somebody else has my back and I'm in a trusted network where I can lean on somebody.
Fantastic. Whenever I hear of events like this, I always like to find the backstory. How long ago did the planning for this start?
Funny you ask. So, the idea was conceptualized during the pandemic in
Okay.
2021, right? And so we put a proposal together that we submitted to the Black Business Initiative, and it's been percolating over time, and we've tweaked and planned. And initially, we wanted to do an overnight retreat, but due to financial and just capacity constraints, etc., we kind of dialed it back and said, "Hey, out of the gate, we're just going to do a 1-day retreat." So this has been in the making for a while, right? But the essence of it is that we're creating a foundation that we could build on. And what we're looking for is this is going to be a yearly men's retreat where we're taking and we're kind of looking at who is the target audience. So it's men 25 to 55. And we talked about earlier some of the challenges that we're seeing in our community. It's creating that intergenerational connection between those who are coming up, those who've made it to a certain extent, and those who are looking to give back. So it's kind of really creating that intergenerational connection amongst men.
Like what I'm hearing a lot. We don't got a lot of time. So let me ask you, what went into picking the specific workshop or communication or facilitation topics? How were those decided upon?
So, we have 6 things that we're focused on, leading self, leading others, leading community, um, leading from a commerce standpoint. And in this initial one, we focused on leading self, right? And so when you're thinking about self, some of the things that we were focused on is when we think about some of the things that we may be questioning ourselves about, it's really around building that capacity and the confidence in who we are and how we show up. And so focusing on overall wellness, focusing on our mental health and our overall what was a core piece to it, and that needed to be part of it. But we talked earlier about the impact on the stats that we shared that it has on our families, and you talk about our finances. That's kind of where the financial workshop piece comes in. And then the other core piece is just we cannot really understand who we are until we understand where we're coming from. And so that's kind of where the cultural integration piece comes in, because we've really got to understand our cultural ties. And the best way for us to understand these cultural ties is how we connect and relate with others who could share experiences and help us to realize that we're not alone, right? And questions that we may have, that collectively, when we put our minds together, all of a sudden those questions become answers.
It's very important, the health piece. And I just want to, the lens I come from, wealth is not just monetary. And for me, the greatest area of Black wealth is the Black family. And wealth is not only just measured in money, but also resources, talents. So I love the approach that your organization is taking, not only the mental and emotional wealth, but also the financial health. It's a very holistic and well-rounded piece of energy that you're providing, not only before the event, during this event, but after this event. That's really good stuff. That's very important. I know we're almost up for time, so I'm going to let you go in a few moments. What will be some things you're looking for to make this event a success?
So we like to say that at Brothers Who Care, we want to use images, videos, and stories to change the financial, the social, and the psychological health of the Black community. And so for me, success is taking who shows up for this and engaging them in this experience where they're on that bus and they feel as if they left their burdens where they are. And for that day, for that moment, for that hour, for that 2 hour block, for that day, they just immerse themselves in that experience. And they start to identify hidden talents and hidden emotions and ways to communicate those emotions and start to make connections with others, that at the end of that day, they feel as if they've unleashed another element of me, of you, whoever is lying inside. And that would be a definition of success for me. But I think more importantly, it's us capturing those elements and showcasing it outside of that experience, so that others who are not there to experience this could actually see these stories and be inspired by it. You know, like we want to build these legacies. But the other thing too is that for those who can't partake, there's going to be aspects of this 1 day retreat that we're going to live stream. And I hope that through these live stream that folks could kind of take a moment to take in the discussion that we're going to have around Black men, mental health, and take in the discussion that we're going to have about wealth and investment. And for me, that's really the definition of success, because they bring it back. And again, we just start to use these images and story and talk about all these positive and great things that's happening in the community.
So obviously it sounds like after this is going to be a foundation to the next steps for the organization, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you could go on our organization and you could check us out. And we've set ambitious targets for 2030, because we've also aligned ourselves with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. And for each one of our initiatives, we are aligned to a particular goal where we have some targets where for us, it's really about not just doing, but it's about doing and demonstrating results and making measurable impacts. And our whole process is, how do we engage? And I know we're called Brothers Who Care, but the essence is the who care, because we're focusing on how do we drive impact with our young people? How do we drive impact with our professionals? How do we drive impact to be better fathers, better husbands, better brothers, sisters, community impactors at home? And then how do we create these really incredible stories and showcase them to a society that tends to put us in a box? And we don't fit in that box, right? But we have these elements that try to force us in that box all the time. We're saying, nah, we're going to break out of those boxes, because we're so much more than that. And we know it. It's just that we're not telling those stories. So we just need to tell it.
Well, I've been telling the stories for a long time. So welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. Well, look, David, thank you for taking time. I know it's a very busy time because your event's coming up, plus you spent some family time. We appreciate that. For people who want to know more about the event, it's on your screen. And as I said, whatever platform you're watching this on, I did share this same information on the screen in the comment section. So all you have to do is copy and paste the tiny URL link, and you get that information. If you want to find out more about that organization, Brothers Who Care, there's their website. There they are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., etc. David, as always, thank you for taking the time to the organization, as always. Remember, all the men in the organization, and hopefully you'll have me come in one day for a chat if you have time, that you remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and keep the faith.
Hey, listen, thanks for having me. And I'm sure Simone already communicated this, but there's a spot for you on the bus, sir.
I know, and
So-
I have a clash though. I have a clash because Denham Jolly has asked me to attend an event. He is getting a park in his name on Saturday.
Oh, okay,
so
that's beautiful.
Here's the thing: my dad and Denham Jolly have known each other since Cornwall College. So I'm torn right now. So I if I get lips, I don't know if I want to make. It's bad enough. I don't want to get Denham Jolly upset. I don't want to upset my dad. So myself and Simone will have to talk. But yeah, I'm more than happy to see if I can help out in any way with the organization. Love to give some lens on my perspective on an upcoming time. And it's up to you guys, but you're doing fantastic work. So continue.
Absolutely. And please say hi to Mr. John for me.
I shall do. Keep the faith. Have a good night. All right, everybody. There is David Griffiths from Brothers Who Care. So another great conversation. I see some people who just have put in something in the comments. And the lady who made this happen today, Simone Jennifer Smith, thank you so much. And that's okay. No problem. I didn't communicate a lot. Don't worry, Simone. Relax. I know your heart is good. So look, everyone, thank you so much for watching the conversation live on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. So a few things before we call it a conversation. You know what? Let me do this first. As always, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the subscribe and then notification button. Follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on the platform, please email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. If you want to watch replays of my epic conversations, you can go to my website, the drvibeshow.com. And also, you can go to YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. And also, if you want to get in contact with me, I've already given the email address, already given the website, but there's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, the Dr. Vibe Show, X at drvibeshow, and Instagram at the drvibeshow.com. So this is how we close out our epic conversations. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. God bless. Peace to all. Keep the faith and support Black men. The better Black men are, the better the Black family and the Black world is going to be. Keep the faith.